I hope you can hear me on this video. We had a problem with the last video, but I'm here to talk a little bit about our 21-day plant-based healthy eating challenge and what the idea is for it and why you should do it and some of the questions that people have regarding the challenge. So first things first, I really wanted to do this challenge because I hear from a lot of people who they maybe are brand new to plant-based eating, or perhaps they have been plant-based for a while and then they got sick, or they, um, sorry, I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. They started eating plant-based and then someone got sick, or they went on vacation, or there was just some problem to where they couldn't keep with it, or they just need a little encouragement, support. So that's what this challenge is all about, to give you the encouragement and support that you need to be successful on a plant-based diet. Now, if you haven't read anything about it, find the webpage so that you can look at all the details. I'll go over them also, but it's at myplantbasedfamily.com. And then you're going to want to join the My Plant-Based Family group on Facebook. It's not the regular page, it's the group. And we have a wonderful support system of people who are on the same journey with you, and they want to see you succeed as well. It's a great source of inspiration and recipes and ideas. So make sure you join that group. Now, when online, I posted some recommendations on what this challenge would look like. Now, these are just recommendations. If they don't work for you, find what works for you. We want to set you up to be successful here. So the recommendations online is to aim for a 90% unprocessed plant-based diet. Now, by that I mean fruits, veggies, whole grains, beans, real food that's in a normal, common, easy to identify type of food or type of meal. Okay, and I say 90% because we're not aiming for perfection, and sometimes a little bit of something processed really helps with to eat the rest of the food. For example, I can eat a ton of veggies in a veggie wrap, but just eating them by themselves sometimes seems difficult. So I'll eat them in a wrap with a tortilla. The tortilla is processed. There's nothing really whole or super nutritious about it, even when you pick the healthiest, often most expensive tortillas. But I can eat so much more vegetables that to me it's worth it, and that would fall in the processed portion of what I would eat. So I just wanted to come up with some recommendations on how much to eat, where to get started. So that's why I came up with looking at the servings of food for the day. So let's aim for 5 servings of fruit, 5 servings of vegetables, 1 to 2 servings of grains, and 2 to 4 servings of beans. Now, those are just recommendations. So if you can't tolerate grains, don't eat grains. If you can't eat that many beans without some digestive issues, don't eat that many beans. I poured over books and websites to try to find, the best recommendations. And there's a lot of plant-based experts, and they all have differing opinions. So this is just my kind of middle of the road. This is what we'll aim for if you're not sure where to get started, but do what works for you. Now, earlier I mentioned the My Plant-Based Family Facebook group, and that's kind of the headquarters for this. I can't write about it every day on the blog, so I just moved it to the Facebook group that was already there. And that's where you're going to find the support, but that's also where you're going to tell me how you're doing each day. So every evening at 6 o'clock Arizona time, I ask, how's it going? How are you doing today? What are you struggling with? What's the best thing you ate today? Questions like that. And I also ask for you to give me how many points you earned. Now, the points are a little bit subjective, so just do with whatever you feel is right. Here's the thing with the points. To earn 3 points, you have to totally rock it. If you feel like you did it, you did a good job, you ate plant-based, you had very little problems with the day, you just nailed it, then you earn 3 points. If you tell me that you did okay, but you still need to improve, that's 2 points. Maybe you had something that wasn't the healthiest, but you did all right. 2 points. Now, if you just totally bombed, if you did not do well, if you maybe, I don't know, went out with your family and had the worst meal you can think of, then you get 1 point. Okay, that's nothing to be ashamed of. We're all going to have days like that. So 1 point is basically just means I'm not giving up. You're going to keep going no matter how hard or how bad it was. Now, every point earned is an entry into a giveaway. We're going to have 2 giveaways every week. On Saturday, we will have a giveaway for a plant-based book. I had several great sponsors that I will share with you in the coming weeks who have donated books to help you on your plant-based journey. Um, and so the big one is going to be on Saturday. We're going to have another one before then. So every day you have to tell me how many points. If you forget one day and need to tell me on the next day, that's totally fine. Just try to be updating them as often as you can. Let's see. Okay, just a second. I thought I had a question coming through. All right, so that's how you get the points. That's why you get the points. But remember, it's subjective. Don't beat yourself up over it. Now, on to a few of the questions. Some people have asked, how do I get started? Okay, that's where the recommendations come in. So if you're not sure where to get started, look at those 5 servings of fruits and veggies, the servings of whole grains. And we're not talking about like a piece of bread as a serving of grains. We're talking about half a cup of rice, half a cup of quinoa, oatmeal, like real whole grains. And if you have a sandwich, that's fine. Just try to eat as healthy as you can. Um, so that's why the recommendations are there. Now, if you have a certain system that works better for you, a certain way of eating that's plant-based and unprocessed, then follow that. Do what you can do well and stick with that, and encourage people in the group. Maybe the way you're eating or the foods you're choosing would work for them too. So make sure you're involved there. And if you're saying maybe I don't even know what plant-based is all about, I don't know what foods, just try to pick plain normal foods like baked potato. That's super easy to make. Everyone knows what a baked potato is. It's delicious. You can top it with a ton of different things. And that's something you're familiar with. So you don't have to come up with these exotic meals that you've never heard of and you're not sure what they are. Pick basics. That's going to set you up for success. Okay, the next question is, what if I'm the only one in my family who is eating plant-based and who's on this challenge? There's a lot of people in your situation. A lot of people are the only one, and their family maybe is not happy about them being plant-based, especially if the plant-based person is the cook. Just do the best you can. Don't try to alienate your family. We don't want that. We want to set you up for success. We want your family to be happy. We maybe even win them over, but that's not our goal. Our goal is you. The goal is for you to do well in this challenge. And if that means you're getting 1 point every day, but you're still coming in with 1 point every day, that's okay. That's good. So if you're the only one in your family, do the best you can. Try not to stress. Just take a deep breath. if everyone is, eating ice cream and cake, and it's your birthday and you want to have ice cream and cake, do it. Okay, don't be condemned by this. Don't feel like you're failing, because you're not. If your spouse brings home pizza, try to see if there's something you can eat. Ask them to order a veggie pizza. I love veggie pizza. Work with what you have. Also for this question, I want you to try to stick to foods that are normal to you, which I alluded to before with the baked potato, but look at some foods that are delicious, that are comforting, that make you feel full, and try to make those a little bit healthier. So some of my favorite examples are like chili. Okay, I love chili. I don't miss the meat. In fact, I think it's better without it, because the old chili with meat we used to eat was like greasy and weird. And now I'm not used to food with oil or grease. So, cook chili, cook tacos. I love lentil tacos, but you could always make lentil tacos for you and your family's favorite recipe for them. Or even better is mix a little bit of lentils into theirs so that they can get used to a little bit of healthier flavor, a little more fiber, um, and just do the best you can. Pot pies, I love veggie pot pie. I don't miss not having meat in there, but you could always cook meat on the side and add it to your family's pot pie. Um, Soups are another great way to get a lot of vegetables, to get beans, to get grains, to get, all of these, the recommended servings that we're going for is with soup. And it's very easy to make a plant-based soup. And if your family just requires meat, to cook that separate and then chop it up, dice it, whatever, however you cook meat, and then add it to their individual bowl. They'll still have the feel and the flavor of meat, but it will be much healthier and you'll be able to eat it without feeling bad or feeling like you're, falling down on this challenge. I have a ton of recipes at My Plant-Based Family on the recipe page for soups, and I always hear great feedbacks on the soup. So definitely try them. And often on a lot of the recipes, I'll mention a way to make it to where meat eaters can enjoy it as well. Okay, the next question is, how can I eat all of this food? Um, Someone looked at my recommendations and that was a lot more than they normally eat in a day. Well, you don't have to eat that much. Those are just guidelines. Stick to half of that. Or, as I mentioned earlier, eat what works for you. But I wanted to go over just some suggestions on ways that you can maybe add more fruits or vegetables or grains or whatever it is that you don't typically eat. So for breakfast, you could have oatmeal. I love grains. Eat very much in line with Dr. McDougall's starch heavy diet. So I tend to lean that direction. Um, but if you don't have to, like I said, do what works for you. But so for breakfast, have oatmeal with some blueberries or diced apples or banana or a mix of all three of the fruits, and with grains. If you can't eat oats, you can do rice. I have a great breakfast rice recipe. Or like I said, do what works for you. I sometimes will just grab a leftover baked potato or baked sweet potatoes with a little cinnamon for breakfast. For snacks, I always encourage people to reach for fruits and veggies first. Have an apple, have a banana, just whatever it is that you like. Those are usually cheap all year round, so I tend to recommend those often. But eat what's in season. For vegetables, I'll chop up, carrots and bell peppers or just whatever I have the craving for. My son loves celery, and I'll eat that with hummus. Sometimes I'll create a dip like the spicy white bean green chili dip. Everyone loves that and has been going crazy over it lately online. So that's a dip that it just makes vegetables so much better for me. Um, so for lunch, I usually try to think about lunch when I'm making dinner the evening before so that I can have leftovers. But something really simple is like a bean and grain bowl. Open a can of beans, get some leftover rice or quinoa or some sort of grain, and then whatever other veggies you have available. And, eat that, a bean and rice burrito. You can even get that when you're out to eat often. Leftover soup or like a soup salad combo is great. If you're, maybe you're at work and you're having to go to eat with some colleagues, often you can adapt the recipes that are out at the restaurants to suit your diet. Veggie sandwiches, just ask for extra veggies and to leave off the meat and cheese. Make sure you look and see what type of condiments on it, because often that is dairy based or has a lot of oil or something you may not want. And then for dinner, a lot of the things I mentioned for lunch already, the soups, tacos, you could even do pasta if you like to, um, have like an even appetizer night. Sometimes we'll do that to where we'll have a bunch of little different things and everyone kind of builds their own food like a buffet. That works great when you have a lot of leftovers. Um, but the thing is, just eat what's natural and normal to you and your family and just try to make it healthier. And if you need suggestions, that group, the My Plant-Based Family Facebook group, is there to help. And people are posting pictures of their dinners and they look fabulous. People are asking questions, so feel free to do that. Use the group to to make it easier for you, because a lot of them are farther along in this journey and they've been plant-based for a while. And there's also a lot of people who are new. There's someone who just joined the challenge like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. So you're not alone in this, and you can do this. So focus on making progress. How I mentioned earlier that we're looking for a 90% unprocessed. Okay, that's the center of the bullseye. But you're aiming for the bullseye. There's a whole lot more to it. It's not just the center. As you go out, maybe you're not getting as close to your goal, but you're still there. You're still trying, and you're still earning points. So make sure you're putting the points down every day, and ask questions. Be a part of the group. Send in questions also, and if we have another video call, we'll try to get those in and make sure that I'm answering your questions. Every Monday, I post a free plant-based meal plan that will give you more meal ideas, and they're all in line with the challenge. So I will see you in the My Plant-Based Family Facebook group, and just keep going, keep at it. You can do it.